In this video tutorial, we'll discuss the various features that Easy Maintenance offers for inventory tracking. Here, we'll show you how to do the following. View and search the list of inventory items. Enter inventory items into Easy Maintenance. Edit and delete existing inventory items. Track quantities of items deducted from and added to inventory. Print a list of inventory items. Print an information summary for an inventory item. Print barcoded labels for inventory items. To access the portion of the inventory module that allows inventory tracking, click on the Inventory button. This will open a window at which there's a list of all the inventory items which you've entered into Easy Maintenance so far. Use the scroll bar on the right to view the entire list. For each item in the list, the following information is displayed, going from left to right. The item number, which uniquely identifies the inventory item in Easy Maintenance. The name of the inventory item. Whether the inventory item is a material or a replacement part. The quantity of that inventory item you have on hand. And lastly, whether the quantity you have on hand is at a normal low or critically low level. Later, we'll discuss the difference between a material and a replacement part. There are also a couple of search features you can use to search through the list of inventory items. Up near the top of the window, there's a search box that allows you to look up an inventory item if you know its item number or name. To search by item number, first click on the circle called Item Number, and then type in the item number of the inventory item for which you're searching. As you type in the item number, Easy Maintenance will search for the item number with the closest match to what you've typed so far. Hit the return key when you've finished typing. If there is a match in your inventory to what you typed, that inventory item will be selected from the list. To search by item name, select the circle called Inventory Item and type in the name of the inventory item for which you're searching. Similarly, the closest match to what you've typed so far will be found as you type. Hit the return key when you've entered the full name. If there's a match, it will be selected from the list. You can also search for an inventory item by scanning its barcode using the Locate by Barcode box at the upper right part of the screen. First, place your cursor in the box by clicking on it, and then scan the barcode using your reader. Then hit the return key. The item which you scanned will be selected from the list. Later in this tutorial video, we'll show you how to print barcode labels for your inventory so that you may use this search feature. Now we'll demonstrate how you enter a new inventory item into Easy Maintenance. To enter a new inventory item, first click on the New button at the bottom left corner of the list of inventory items. This opens up the window at which you enter the information about the new inventory item. The first information about the new inventory item which you should enter is the unique code or item number which identifies the inventory item. Once you've decided upon an item number, type it into the item number box. After entering the item number, then enter the name of the item into the item name or description box. The item name is just the name of the item in plain language describing what it is. The next field is where you enter the date on which the inventory item is entered. This is automatically filled in with the current date. The preferred vendor field is where you choose the vendor from whom you prefer to purchase new stock for this inventory item. This field just lets you know from whom you should purchase new stock. Entering vendors into Easy Maintenance is explained in video 4.2, Entering Materials and Parts Vendors. The Manufacturer field is where you enter the manufacturer of the inventory item. Next, in the Unit field, enter the units in which stocks of the inventory item are measured. For example, if you're tracking motor oil, you might enter gallons as the unit. Below that, in the Cost field, you enter the cost per unit of the item. When you create work orders, Easy Maintenance automatically calculates the cost of all the materials and parts using the values you enter in the Cost field. You can also enter a percent markup into the Markup field. The price of the item after the markup is automatically calculated and entered into the Price field. In the upper left-hand corner of the window, there are two fields called ID Code 1 and ID code 2. Here, you enter additional identification codes, perhaps from other identification systems, which are used to identify this inventory item. The next item on this window is the Inventory Type drop-down box. From here, you select whether the inventory item you're entering is a material or a replacement part. First, however, we should explain the meaning of the words material and replacement parts as used in easy maintenance. The word material means something that is used up during the course of a maintenance event and that needs to be deducted from inventory. Good examples of materials are things like motor oil, coolant, or paint. Things like tools or major engine components should not be treated as materials in easy maintenance. Tools are used over and over again, and major engine components are more appropriately treated like replacement parts. They're regularly inspected and replaced only when necessary. The word part means a component of a piece of equipment or a vehicle that may need to be replaced, and you have a stock of replacement parts in your inventory. Good examples of items that should be treated as replacement parts in easy maintenance are entire engines, transmissions, fuel pumps, etc. Contrast this with materials which are used up during the course of a maintenance event and that need to be deducted from inventory. When you've decided whether the inventory item you're entering is a material or a replacement part, then select either material or replacement part. You can select the other option if you want the inventory item to be treated both as a material or a replacement part. Next, you need to specify whether the inventory item is used in equipment maintenance, in vehicle maintenance, or in both equipment and vehicle maintenance. From the Equipment or Vehicle drop-down box, select either Equipment, Vehicle, or both. An inventory item that is specified for being for equipment maintenance will be available for use in equipment maintenance profiles and equipment work orders, but not in vehicle maintenance profiles and vehicle work orders, and vice versa. Next, enter the quantity of the inventory item that you actually have in stock into the Quantity on Hand field. Also, enter the minimum level of the inventory item into the Minimum Level field. This is the level below which the inventory item is marked as low, which we explained earlier. Also, enter the maximum level of the inventory item into the Maximum Level field. Enter the quantity at which you prefer to reorder this inventory item into the Reorder Quantity field. When you create a purchase order for the inventory item that you're entering here, the amount that you enter into the Reorder Quantity field is displayed at the screen where you enter the item into the purchase order for your reference. Also, you can enter a detailed description of the inventory item into the Long Description field. You can enter where the item is stored in the Warehouse Location field. After you've entered all of the information for the new inventory item, click on the OK button to save the inventory item into Easy Maintenance, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to enter the inventory item. Once you've clicked on the OK button, you'll be returned to the list of inventory items, and the new item will be added to the list. You can also edit existing inventory items and delete inventory items that you no longer want to track. To edit an existing inventory item, first select it from the list by clicking on it. Then click on the Edit button right below the list. This will open this window, at which you can edit the details about the inventory item you selected. This screen is very similar to the one at which you create a new inventory item, except that this screen is already filled in with all of the details about the inventory item. You can edit any of the details about the inventory item except for the inventory item number. When you're finished making all of your desired changes, click on the OK button to save your changes, or click on the Cancel button if you've changed your mind and no longer want to make any changes to the inventory item. To delete an inventory item from Easy Maintenance, select it from the list by clicking on it and then click on the Delete button. A small window will pop up which asks you to confirm that you want to delete the inventory item. Click on the Yes button to confirm that you want to delete the item, or click on the No button to cancel deleting the item. Now we'll demonstrate how to track quantities of items deducted from and added to inventory. If you select an inventory item from the list by clicking on it, you'll see a list of transactions below. This list of transactions shows each time a quantity of the inventory item you selected was checked out, checked in, or returned. When a quantity of an item is checked out, that means that the item has been taken for use. A checkout transaction is automatically added to the list of transactions when an inventory item is used in a work order, although you can also manually create a checkout transaction at this window, which we'll demonstrate shortly. When a quantity of an item is checked in, that means that more stock of the inventory item is being introduced into your inventory. Items can either be checked in here manually or be automatically done when receiving against a purchase order. When a quantity of an item is returned, that means that the items were taken for use and maintenance but were unused, like when more is taken than was necessary. For each transaction in the list, you'll see the date on which the transaction took place, the type of transaction, in other words, whether it was a check-in, a check-out, or a return, and the quantity. Now we'll explain how to check in, check out, and return inventory. You can check in inventory when you receive items against a purchase order, which is something that's explained in video 4.5, Receiving Items Against Purchase Orders. However, we'll show you how to do it here manually. To check in a quantity of an inventory item, first select the inventory item from the list by clicking on it. Then click on the Check In button at the right. This will open up a window where you can enter the information about the new check-in transaction. Here you must enter the quantity that's being checked in and the date on which it's being checked in. You can also enter an expiration date for the item if it has one. Once you've finished entering all of the information here, click on the OK button to enter the check-in transaction, and you'll see it displayed in the list of transactions. To check out a quantity of an inventory item, select the inventory you want to check out, and then click on the Check Out button. Here, enter the quantity of the item you're checking out and the date on which the items were checked out. Then click on the OK button. Returning a quantity of an inventory item is similar to checking a quantity in. Just select the inventory item you want to check in and then click on the Return button. At this window, enter the quantity that you're returning and the date on which they were returned. Then click on the OK button. You can also print a list of inventory items which you've entered so far into Easy Maintenance. To print this list, click on the Print List of Materials button on the right side of the window. This will print a report that shows for each inventory item you've entered into Easy Maintenance, the item number, the name of the item, the quantity on hand, the unit price, the units in which that item is measured, and the reorder level. You can also print an information summary for an inventory item. To do this, open up an inventory item as if you're editing it. Select the item by clicking on it and then click on the Edit button. Then, at the screen at which you edit the inventory item, click on the Print button at the bottom of the window. This will print a report showing all of the information for that inventory item. Lastly, Easy Maintenance also lets you print barcode labels for your inventory items. To do this, click on the Print Barcode Labels button on the right side of the window. This will open up a small window. Here, you must choose whether you want to print label sheets for all of your inventory items, in other words, one label for each item, or whether you want to print just one for a single item. To do this, first select one of the circles called Print All Materials or Print Selected Materials. Then click on the Print button. If you select Print Selected Materials, you must first select the inventory item for which you want to print the barcode label from the drop-down box.